Fleur community. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting tweet from Hugo Filion and also the importance of the Songbird network. Now, just to give you guys a quick recap, the Songbird is the canary network for Fleur. It's basically a testnet which actually holds value. And if we actually go to Twitter, we can see that Hugo made this tweet of a 80 million bridge hack today. Now, bridging is arguably one of the hardest engineering tasks in crypto. Fleur intends to build a better, safer bridging system, but this demonstrates why we released Songbird first. So what is bridging? It's basically the process of bringing assets from one layer 1 network to another. So for example, the Songbird network and Fleur network will actually have multiple integrated assets. That's XRP, Litecoin, Dogecoin, XLM, and finally Algorand, with many more to come in the future. If we scroll down here, we can actually see Songbird actually making a very interesting statement, being the critical thinker that he is. He goes on to say, let's say a hacker doesn't care about the karma and finds an exploit on the canary network, Songbird. Wouldn't the evil but smart move be to say nothing, wait for the Fleur network to launch, and exploit both Songbird and Fleur? Very interesting concept, and before we move on to Hugo's response, I just want to talk about a message from Sean Rowan here, who is actually a co-founder of the Fleur network too. He says, the current total value locked on Songbird is 85 million. So if that was hacked today, it would be in the top 10 biggest hacks of all time in the cryptocurrency space. Most networks avoid hacks because they have very little usage. Songbird is doing better than many mainnets in this regard, and a lot of the total locked value, TLV, is actually locked in the Fleur finance protocols, which I'm sure you are all very familiar with. Now let's jump into Hugo's response. Hugo goes on to say in this short thread, Songbird has a very valid question, and a canary network isn't guaranteed to find all exploits. However, there is a certain game theory to the ideas behind it. Let's say an attacker finds an exploit. Their options are to sit on it or utilize it immediately. Now, let's say they sit on it. They face the possibility that it gets observed and patched, or that a second attacker finds it. Now, excluding patches, the optimal outcome would be for the attackers to coordinate and sit on the vulnerability until the Fleur network has a high total locked value. However, as coordination and trust between attackers is low, and there is the possibility of a third or nth unrelated attacker coming along and disrupting the agreed equilibrium, then the optimal path for any attacker is to use the exploit as soon as possible. As an aside, Songbird isn't purely meant for bait as attackers, as it is equally, if not more useful for us and the community to test in as live an environment as possible, the protocols that are being built. For example, to see how they respond to real behavior rather than a somewhat simulated behavior on a devnet or a test network. And this is the idea of the Songbird network. It's really something more than just a testnet. So with testnets, the supply is unlimited. You would be able to create tokens out of thin air, which essentially makes them worthless. Now, if you do compare that to the Songbird network, especially considering Fleur Finance has so much total locked value, this invites attackers to really try and thoroughly penetrate the system and extract the value, and this is only beneficial in preparation for the Fleur network launch. So I really thought that this particular thread was interesting and worth sharing with you guys. It's really important to know that the Songbird network is here for a reason, and you, as participants, are really helping the Fleur team evaluate the problems and issues that arise in preparation for the Fleur network. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, I'm out.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.